Hey air signs, welcome to your June 2020 intuitive messages reading. So this can apply to Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And I would encourage you to take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs. If they're in different elements, take a look and see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 3 different oracle cards, and then I'm going to pull tarot for those 3 oracle cards and see what messages I get. So the messages could come through as a continuation for some. There could be 3 completely separate messages. We'll just see what we get. I'm leaving it open, all right? So these will be intuitive messages for you, and let's start getting your cards ready, okay? All right, air signs, let's take a look. Let's start with this card over here. So we have friendship. Bring me friendship true, sharing, laughter, and understanding too. Queen of Cups, the Empress, and the Sun. What I'm getting from these cards, just off the bat, is that there may have been, you may have been dealing with a friendship that went through a little test right now. And you guys needed to do some talking and some thinking and some, understanding how the friendship is actually going. A lot of times our friendships tend to stay superficial, but what I'm getting from these cards is that that's no longer the case with a particular friendship in your life. There was no longer the luxury of having a friendship stay at a superficial level. And it's interesting because when I first flipped over the friendship card, I did think Gemini, just because Gemini is a very social sign. We also had Venus transiting Gemini for quite a long period of time, longer than kind of usual this year. And so all those things combined say to me that there may have been that Venus retrograde in Gemini may have put some of y'all to the test a little bit, And it looks like with the Sun and the Empress that you ended up, the friendship in the end ended up stronger. Yeah, there was something that you guys needed to get figured out. Absolutely, this is beautiful, you guys. The 8 of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, and the 6 of Pentacles. So there was definitely some work done in this relationship where you guys really figured it out. We have the Sun and we have the 6 of Pentacles. The relationship might have been a little on the uneven side, and it looks like you both took the time to hear each other and to understand each other, right? That's here. And you took that time to get the clarity and the perspective from somebody else, and now the relationship is much more balanced and in a much more happy place. That's absolutely beautiful. I love that. The Queen of Wands and the 3 of Swords. So this might have been a challenging thing for you guys. The 3 of Swords has to do with agreements. It obviously can do with heartbreak when we're talking about relationships, but with relationships we have agreements too, right? And sometimes when those agreements are not held, it can cause some emotional distress and pain. And it looks like you guys went through a little test trial period, but you came out the other side with some flying colors, And with the Queen of Wands, for some of you, this could potentially have been I hate to say it, but, talking to the ex, flirting with the ex, like your friend's ex, right? And, that for obvious reasons is going to cause some challenges. So for some of you, I'm getting that message as well. All right, what else can I get here? The 4 of Pentacles, The Five of Pentacles. Wow, this actually, yeah, and the Six. Okay, so whatever happened, you guys, whatever happened was a pretty big ouchie. All right, so whatever went down between you two, it really kind of shook the foundation of this relationship, and it really tested you guys pretty damn hard based on these cards. This Queen of Cups too, she, you know, she really has to dig deep in her, into her emotional body, into her emotional space to figure out how she wants to deal with it. But I love that the Empress and the Sun are here, because that says to me that you guys were able to kind of rebirth and get some clarity on, and just kind of rebuild the relationship in a much healthier way, especially since we have this Six, these two Sixes here. I love that. All right, so I'm gonna leave that side here. And we're gonna move on to this next one. So let's see what we get. Safe travel. Keep me safe and let me roam far away, but bring me home. Okay. The Devil. The Page of Swords. And the Eight of Swords. What I am thinking right now, and I'll get some clarification here, is that y'all were planning on doing some traveling, and it looks like you were planning on doing the traveling for reasons that might not have been on the up and up, if that makes sense. That you may have either been given false information, or you just were at a point where it was almost like an F it. I'm gonna do it, even if it doesn't even if it's not in my best interest, and it's not something that I probably should do right now. I'm gonna do it anyway. And now you may be feeling the repercussions of that decision, where you may have locked yourself into something that you're not necessarily, you may have made an impulsive decision to do something, and now you may be feeling a little bit like, oopsies, can I get out of this? I don't know if I should stay here. I don't know if I should stay here and actually do this, if I should cancel, if I should get out. But it looks to me from these cards that the motivation behind whatever this travel was, whether it's, you know, long distance or something short term, like local, it looks like you are kind of regretting a decision, is what I'm seeing. The Six of Cups. So this might have to do with travel to see family. Oh Jesus. The Ten of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. All right. For some of you, I am getting that this was travel to, unfortunately, possibly go to a funeral, or to go and see somebody who was either very ill, is very ill, or that, you know, possibly passed away with these cards like this. So that's kind of that stress and anxiety that I was getting up here, you know, you know, needing to travel for those reasons is definitely stressful, and I was getting some kind of stress message up there too. So for those of you, and, you know, apply it as it resonates. You know, obviously all of you watching this video are not going to have experienced a family member that you needed to travel to because they're ill or they passed away. So the other message there with the travel is that you may have made an impulsive decision to travel when it might not have been in your best interest. All right, so let's see what else we can get here. The Page of Wands, the Page of Swords again, and the Six of Wands. So for those of you that made, so I can see these three cards applying to both scenarios that I picked up on. The hesitation, the anxiety, the fear that you may be dealing with associated with needing to go somewhere or to travel. In the end, it looks like it's going to work out. The decision that you made, the impulsive decision you made, in the end, it looks like it's going to work out, despite the fact that you're having to deal with some anxiety about it, that you're feeling stressed out about it. In the end, I think you're going to be happy that you went, that you went ahead and did what it is that you needed to do. Let's see. Yeah. This Two of Pentacles. So yeah, that kind of goes with this here. You know, just really feeling like, man. So you're still, so for most of you, you haven't made this. You've planned it, but you haven't actually, it hasn't been executed yet. And so you're still in the damn it, like, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this stage of this whole situation? But it really does look like from these cards that it will end up, you'll be, I think you'll be happy that you did in the end, even though for some of you the circumstances are not necessarily pleasant, it looks like. Yeah, so this is probably something that's coming up soon for you, with the Eight of Wands. And that might be where this anxiety is coming from, because it's kind of like it's happening really soon. And you know, you've probably been in a holding period with it for a while. With how to, holding period meaning you know that you've known that it's coming up. And you've really been trying to grapple with how you can best handle the situation. Yeah, and the Five of Pentacles. You know, that sense of lack, that sense of sorrow, that sense of loss, which could come from this middle piece here, where I picked up on where someone might be ill or someone may have passed away. It happened. So, and I also can get from this that sickness, that passing away may have happened very quickly for some of you, and like that was kind of unexpected, and you were really kind of left in the state of, you know, how do I deal with this now? You may not live in the same state, hence the travel. There may be a financial piece associated with traveling that is going to be a bit challenging for you at the moment. And so kind of all of these things are playing out in this middle piece here. All right, so far we've gotten two really different messages. And I think I'm gonna leave that one here. And we're gonna move on to this last message, all right? Good luck for those of you that are traveling. I hope it does all go well for you, okay? All right, Harvest. As the waves of the ocean are infinite, as the trees in the forest grow tall, let my work now bring me to harvest. I am ready to receive it all. So some of you may be trying to create something or manifest something, bring something in. The Eight of Cups. you may be cutting your losses and just reaping the things that can be beneficial to you. Yeah. So we have the Eight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. Let's see if we can make a little room here. Some of you may have had to leave a job or some kind of situation that was giving you some financial benefits to kind of help you preserve what you have, if that makes sense. So you may have had to harvest sooner than you planned. That could include stocks, the selling of stocks, this kind of thing, where you had planned perhaps to keep those longer, and because of circumstances, you may have had to sell sooner than you had planned in order to kind of maintain some financial stability and security. And you're using that, it looks like you're using that to move forward, to do something else, to have some other endeavor. But you're being patient, you're taking your time, and you're really thinking about how you're going to execute. So let's get some clarification on this. Strength card, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So in order to make this decision, it looks like you had to dig pretty deep, and it was probably a difficult decision to make. Yeah. It was probably a difficult decision to make. You may have had to have conversations with your family about it. They may have been challenging conversations to have. In the end, you ended up being the executor of the decision. So it was like the responsibility fell on your shoulders, excuse me, to make this big decision. And it was probably weighing pretty heavy on you with that Judgment card at the bottom of the deck there. Yeah, the Two of Wands. Where do I go from here? You know, like you're trying to get an idea. The chair. Yeah. How do I move forward? Which path do I choose? Was the decision that you were needing to make. The Hierophant. And they're very likely, like there was some heavy decision making around how it's going to impact your family. And if you're a business owner with the Hierophant, the weight of the decision was around possibly needing to dissolve a business, sell a business, and the implications of that for your employees and even for yourself. You know, if you're a business owner, you've put your heart and soul into something to build something, and if you've needed to dissolve it and move on or modify it, right? So if it's not a dissolve, it's something needed to be changed, something needed to be modified in order to kind of preserve the core of what you had started to build. And so you were in the process of trying to figure out, how do I best do that with these cards? Yeah, the King of Swords. You needed to make some... The King of Swords is for me, a very strategic energy, and he really just, he thinks through, like he does the research, right? He thinks through what he needs to think through. Not a lot of emotion in this decision with the King of Swords. we might, if it was the Queen, we might have had a little bit more like, there might have been a balance between it being an emotional decision and a logical, intellectual decision. But with the King of Swords, I'm going to say the emotional piece was probably kept at a very minimum. And you just stuck to the facts. You stuck to the truth. I don't know if you can see that with the glare. You stuck to the facts, you stuck to the truth, and the King of Swords just says, you know, once I've researched, once I've done, this is the path. And you went for it, right? You went for it to preserve. And so once you did that, now you're in, I think you're in this place with the the Knight of Pentacles, where you're really just starting to move forward toward the new thing, whatever that new thing is for you. The Two of Swords again, you know, that this was probably a very tough decision for you. There it is again, Ace of Swords. And there was a lot of really needing. This is the Ten of Wands. Sorry, you're probably not able to see this now. There was probably a lot of not being able to. You didn't have the luxury. You didn't have the luxury to do it exactly the way that you wanted to do it. And so you needed to just kind of, all these swords, you just needed to kind of get into the facts, you know, and you just needed to cut the losses, and you needed to just move forward. And it was tough. This is a tough decision to make. I see that. And it looks like this was something relatively recent that you decided and or executed, because I really do feel like you're in this Knight of Pentacles place with this right now, where you're really looking toward, some decisions have been made. If not, if it hasn't been fully executed, some decisions have been made, and you're just, yeah, here we are again. So when I start to get repeat cards, I think the message, that to me is a signal that the message is where it's supposed to be for you right now. And the King of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, I think is an encouragement for you to proceed with this Knight of Pentacles energy, but find that excitement that you had when you originally started this endeavor. Find that and bring that with you along the way. Not necessarily the impulsiveness of the Knight of Wands, but that energy and that fire and that enthusiasm that comes with the Knight of Wands and the fire energy, but executing from the standpoint of the Knight of Pentacles, which is very diligent and methodical and careful and prudent. Okay? All right. I hope that you all found some message in here that was helpful for you. And I hope that June has been treating you well. And I hope to see you around my channel soon. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe. And if you do want a personal reading with me, I will leave contact information in the description box below. All right, take care.